Hello, everyone. Um, Welcome to your mid-November 2020 Oracle and Tarot reading. My name is Tessa. This is Tessa's Tarot. I'm a little cold because they turned the heater off. The building controls the heat vents, and it's under maintenance today. And I completely forgot that they were doing that today. And I went to sleep last night with the window cracked open just a little bit because I get really, really hot when I sleep. Especially because when these heaters are working, they are really, really strong and it tends to get really hot. So I'll always crack the window open a little bit just to get a nice little breeze. And it's 40 something degrees in Chicago right now. But then I ended up waking up this morning and I was really cold. But I went for a run anyway, and I showered. But I'm a little bit chilly right now. So, yeah. That's the MO in my life right now. I'm doing these mid-November readings a little bit differently. Instead of pre-choosing, what order I'm going to go in for the zodiacs, I'm shuffling my zodiac oracle and just kind of pulling the zodiacs as I go and just kind of doing it a little bit more in the flow of things. Just because that's kind of where my life is at right now. I have to kind of just go with the flow of things right now because there's a lot of different things that need my attention at this point in time. So I kind of have to be a little bit more flexible with how I do YouTube and how I do Instagram and when. But generally speaking, I am still, trying to stick to a general routine in the sense of I'm going to continue doing mid-month and monthly readings. And then on Instagram, I'm going to, try to do daily readings on the weekdays. But other than that, I have an online school that I started that I need to finish. And then I have a website that I started and I need to finish. And then I have another website that I started last year that I want to rebrand into something else. So I have a lot of projects that I'm working on. And then I'm also taking care of my grandmother. And she has a couple of doctor's appointments this week. So there's that. And I'm also getting into a workout routine. Yeah, it's how do I make time for all of this? Exactly. That's why I have to go with the flow. It's kind of these are all things that I want to have my hands in, but obviously I can't do them all. I can't fit everything into one day, So I have to kind of have to allow myself to go with the rhythm of the universe and kind of go with the flow and do what feels right. But if I don't have these things going on, if I don't have multiple things that I'm working on, I'm miserable. So it's I have to have things that I'm working on. I have to have things that I'm doing. Otherwise, I fall into a depression. Okay, I'm a Sagittarius. I have to be working on something, or because I don't have a job. This is my job. I don't have a job. So I'm trying to start my own business and everything. So yeah, trying to kind of do my own thing. But yeah. Okay. I don't know if there's anything else I want to share about me. So let's get into your reading. Cancer. Hello. Okay, Cancer. I feel like you guys would understand. I don't know. I feel like you guys would understand, that that feeling of needing to do it all, you're taking care of. I feel like Cancers, you guys because you guys have that, you guys are rule the Queen of Cups and you're ruled by the moon. You're kind of ruled by the mother, this mother kind of figure. like, you kind of have this, like, super mom kind of quality. And, you know, you're very much rooted in your home life, but at the same time, you're still very ambitious in terms of, like, going out into the world and doing what you need to do and doing what you believe is right and doing things with, like, love and compassion and things like that. So, like, I don't have any Cancer friends that I'm close to. Like, I have Cancer acquaintances, but I don't have any Cancer friends that I'm really, really close to and that I know on an intimate level. I had a Cancer boyfriend a long time ago, and he was very sweet, but I'm a fire sign, and I don't know, it just didn't work out. But he was really sweet, and he was definitely a homebody, but he still liked to be adventurous. He still was very energetic and liked to go out and do things. I have no idea what his ascendant was or anything, but I do follow, I am familiar with, like, some YouTubers who are Cancers, and they are, like, all over the place. Like, it seems like they're constantly doing things. It seems like they've always got projects going on. It seems like they've always got new ideas, and they're always creating, and they, like, try to take care of their family and their friends and their home. And I kind of feel like I'm sort of in that vibe, where it's like I'm trying to take care of my home because I'm home all the time, but I'm also trying to, I'm also trying to be involved in different projects, but then I'm also taking care of my grandmother, you know, but it's like, you can't do it all. You can't do it all. You can try to do it all, but you kind of have to allow yourself to go with the rhythm, right? Like, go with the rhythm of the universe, kind of, like, stay in your lane and just keep kind of rowing down the river and let it guide you the way that it needs to guide you. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm wondering if, like, all this is coming up and it's going to resonate with you guys, because I find it really interesting. One of the other reason why I wanted to shuffle my zodiac deck and kind of start an organic conversation and start filming before I actually pick the zodiac card. Like, I kind of wanted to do that without knowing what zodiac sign I was talking to, because I find it really interesting how energy feeds off of each other in that aspect. And the things that I end up talking about, I find that a lot of the things that I end up talking about things that I'm going through or experiencing, or just, like, some messages that I start receiving while I'm shuffling the decks, it ends up kind of falling in line with the zodiac sign and their messages. And the energy starts to kind of exchange in that way. So I don't know if that makes sense. So it's almost like I can feel myself being relatable. I feel like I'm relating to you guys on some level. So I don't know. I could be crazy, but that's my analysis. Okay. So I'm using the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, and we're going to pull 3 of the Oracle cards, and this is going to be this is mostly going to represent, like, you, like, where you're at right now for mid-November, where you're at. And just keep in mind that these are general readings, so they're not going to resonate with everybody. They are also timeless. Like, even though it is dated as mid-November, time is multidimensional. Time doesn't actually time is not linear. So it's like, even if you do find this video in a different year or in a different time frame, depending on where you're at in your life, it could resonate with you, and it could, like, you know, there could be some messages there that are important for you. So we have change. So these cards that I'm going to pull over here, this is kind of like, I kind of see this. So I have this motto for every single zodiac sign for 2021, and it's stay in your own lane. Okay, because 2021 is going to be crazy. So the motto for every single sign is stay in your own lane, which is just kind of like, you do you keep doing you. And then, like, these cards that I'm pulling out for the Oracle, and then we have purity. Okay, change, purification. I kind of see these cards as representing more of you and where you're at right now. And then when I start pulling the tarot cards, this is kind of like how you're interacting with your environment. And then we have choice. Okay. Okay, so there's some kind of choice that needs to be made that involves changes, okay? I see this more as internal changes, okay? So it's like you need to make a choice, and it's going to create some internal changes that will start to like purify maybe some old things that you've been hanging on to that's no longer serving you, that's no longer helping you grow, helping you evolve. There's like a purification aspect going on here. Purification aspect, yeah. So this is kind of like, so when I first started doing this series, this mid-November series of readings in the very beginning, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get it started, see where it goes. I didn't even really have a form in mind. I didn't know how I was going to do the layout. I didn't know. I wanted to really just kind of tap in to what was going on. I really wanted to tap into the collective of the universe and really just kind of like hone in on what is the general theme and general message that is needed at this point in time. And that's when I came up with stay in your own lane. It was a little bit different. The original saying was stay in your own motherfucking lane. But, you know, I'm not going to say that every single time I say it. And then as I started to do the readings, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because as the readings started to come out, I noticed that the oracle cards became extremely representative of the individual. Of like what is needed and what is more grounding in terms of you being able to just kind of stay in your own lane, stay on track. And I can't even explain why that's going to be the motto for 2021. I just feel like 2021 is going to be another shit show. Astrologically speaking, 2021, there's a lot of crazy things happening astrologically. So astrologists are kind of like predicting that 2021 is going to be a lot more chaotic than 2020. So with that being said, as I was kind of trying to, since we are coming to a close for 2020, I was kind of trying to tap in and see like, well, what is the collective message here? Like, what do people really need to hear right now? And then that's when stay in your own lane came to me. So it's just kind of like, don't get too, and don't like focus on yourself and try not to get too involved. Like you can still integrate and get involved with things going on around you, but I don't think it's going to be a good idea to get too involved. I think it's going to be really, really important to just go your own path, to really, really forge your own path. And figure things out your own way, because I think that things might get kind of crazy, and it's going to be really important to just kind of remain focused on your mission and what it is that you are trying to achieve in this world. Okay? Okay. Alright, so let's pull these tarot cards for choice. So we have the Hierophant. This is Taurus. Okay. Ooh, the High Priestess. This is the Moon. Wow. And then we have the Hermit. 3 major arcana cards, Virgo. Wow. Holy cow. You have some really important decisions. Okay. You have a really, really important choice, a really important decision that you need to make in the next couple of weeks. It's really big, and it has to do with I don't want to say it has to do with spirituality in the traditional sense. Like it has to do with, I think it has to do with like breaking down. I feel like it has to do with breaking down old barriers. Like breaking down old ways of doing things. Because you're looking at a certain choice, but it's like the thing that you're looking at, it's almost not, there's something about it that isn't like serving you, okay? There's something about it that isn't serving you. There's something that you need to look at like a little closer. And you might have to go within to do that. Because there's like a how do I explain this? Yeah, there's something inside of you that needs to change, okay? There's something inside of you that needs to change. There's something that you need to look at closer within yourself. Within yourself, like big time. Big time, because okay, so like you have the Hierophant, which is Taurus, and the Hierophant is, it kind of represents like spirituality, but not in, a little bit more like in the material realm, you know, like churches and religion, like a little bit more structured and a little more conforming, a little more traditional. And then you have the High Priestess, which is like, I consider her, she's not considered the divine feminine. The Empress is considered the divine feminine, but I consider her the mother of all mothers, okay? So she is like, she represents life, she represents death, she represents knowledge, wisdom. She protects truth, okay? And she kind of like comes to us when we need to hear the truth. Not the pretty truth. Sometimes it's the ugly truth, you know, but either way, she represents truth. So it's like, it's up to you to decide what you want to do with that information. But she comes to share knowledge. So it looks like you really need to like go deep within yourself, especially with this Hermit card coming up over here, this Virgo card, which is about like kind of like isolation, going within, spending time by yourself, and really kind of breaking things down. Like breaking down the structure within you, just so you can understand what it is that is pulling you in the direction that you are going. Like, so you're not blinded by your own initiation. So you're like, you become more aware of it. You become like aware of the choices that you're making. You're not just making choices. You're not just like doing things just because. But you kind of establish a sense of awareness with your choices. Okay. So for change, we have Page of Cups. This is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have the Ace of Pentacles, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. And the Six of Swords, Mercury in Aquarius. Okay, so yeah, so there's some big changes that are going to start taking place once you can do that. Okay. And it's interesting that like these cards are actually, so if this is you staying in your lane, it's interesting that these cards, both of these ladies are facing away from the outside world. So this is really about you going within. This is almost like, this is not so much about how you are interacting with the world, but how the world is interacting with you. And it's kind of trying to teach you something, okay? It's trying to kind of teach you something and purify you in a sense. It's trying to create some changes within you that's going to be beneficial for you in the long run, because it's going to help you understand things a little bit better, and it's going to help you understand your own motives and your own intuition and your own direction. It's trying to show you different methods of love. It's trying to show you different ways maybe to make money. It's kind of like, okay, there is change coming. There are new beginnings coming. And these new beginnings and these changes that are coming your way, they have a lot to do with humanitarian ideas. Because we have the Mercury and Aquarius over here, and this girl on this boat and this guy with these swords in here, they are like moving towards you. They're moving away from something that was causing them pain and destruction, and they're moving towards something a little bit more where they feel their ideas will be heard, where they feel that they are able to create the necessary change. Okay, a new beginning in money matters, to create a new beginning in aspects of turning ideas and knowledge and wisdom into material gain. Okay, and also like being able to share that through love and through education. Okay, and this is kind of like part of the process of your transformation. Like this is going to be an important part of your change and your transformation, for you to kind of like open yourself up to that. For purity, we have the Nine of Swords. This is Mars in Gemini. We have the Nine of Pentacles, Venus in Virgo. And we have the Star card, Aquarius, another major arcana. So yeah, it really looks like, and we're kind of edging up. We're gonna start to see the age of Aquarius slowly seep into our consciousness. I know that there's some big planetary transit happening on December 21st that kind of like sparks this transition into the new age, but the age of Aquarius is not actually going to start to really transform our lives until like 2023, but it's definitely starting. And so it's kind of like this energy that's going on right now in the underlying aspect of things. It's like pushing itself through. It's trying to heal you. It's trying to prepare you. It's trying to guide you, so you can be more hopeful for the future, so you can see how it's going to benefit you in the long run. Okay, because, and like, you're going to go through some anxiety. You're probably going to go through some pain, some anxiety, some worry. It's going to start to break things down inside of you with this Nine of Swords, where you're going to be thinking a lot, but it's also going to like purify you. It's going to like cleanse you in essence. Okay, and I think that you're gonna find comfort. Okay, how do I explain this? Like, I think you're gonna find comfort in your independence as you go through this. But there's also a sense of like loneliness. So if you're single, if you don't have a partner, there is kind of a feeling of like not wanting to go through this by yourself. Okay? There's a feeling of not wanting to go through this by yourself. Some of you might have some animals, but if you're in a relationship, I think that you're going to have kind of a hard time speaking to your partner about what it is you're feeling and going through, and you might pull back. But I also kind of see this as, like, as you go through these feelings and as you allow the universe and the world around you to sort of like purify your, like, your sense of kind of like purify your knowledge of things that are happening around you, and it's gonna help you to focus on the things that make you feel like a strong, independent person, like the things that, the little details in your daily life, like the little pleasures that exist in your daily life, like in your home, in your surroundings, whether you do have animals or not. But the things that you take pleasure in, things that you have worked to obtain, to, you know, kind of rediscover the value in that. And that will kind of allow you to, it'll help you to get out of that state of mind where you are overcome with worry and anxiety. Like if things become a little bit too much for you, you know, like anxiety or panic or things like that, not really knowing what the future holds. The universe is kind of telling you to just trust, to like trust the process. Okay, because this Aquarius card over here with the star, it's pretty much saying like, everything's gonna be okay. Like, it's literally just saying like, have faith. Just have faith. And I think that you're gonna kind of go through a period where you're not gonna be able to see. You're not gonna be able to understand, and you're not gonna be able to see like past your own walls, okay? But this is why it's important, but this is why it's like, it's important to go through this, because it's going to come, kind of like whether you like it or not, the energy is coming. It's coming. So if you try to fight it, it's kind of gonna like, it's gonna keep forcing you to go within. It's gonna keep forcing you to go within and to discover yourself and to kind of like purify yourself. Like until you can start doing that, I guess is the best way to explain it. It's the best way to put it. You know, because it's part of the evolutionary process to do that. And then it's like, especially with these three big major arcana cards coming up out here, and the fact that you're kind of in this place where you're trying to decide if that's something you want to deal with, it's going to come to the point where the universe is going to decide for you. You know, it's going to decide for you. Like, you're going to have to take a look at yourself. You're going to have to embrace the changes. It's kind of like, and you will, like the way that this is coming out, you will embrace the changes. You will embrace the changes. You won't be able to, it'll just happen. I don't think you're going to be able to control it. So this is the message I have for you, Cancer. I hope this helped, and I'll see you for your December 2020 reading. Bye.